If we clear out the lines, the most mesmerizing star I recognize is the star that could dumbfound in our sky. It is this one scarab juice or scarab pulverize. It's a very monstrous red star. Furthermore, on the vague possibility that you put it where the Sun is, it would stretch out to the orbit of Jupiter. It's huge, completely unpredictable, and going to explode. It's not as clear as it appears to be in the universe. These Goliath events, like the most irrationally feared gigantic starbursts, could shake all that we see. In addition, regardless, do whatever it takes not to see its core. Betelgeuse has been seen as a sign, a red, extremely giant star that is normally more significant than our Sun. Brian Cox and other space specialists think it could go supernova, which has made people frightened about what will occur next. The James Webb Space Telescope is taking shocking photographs of the star, raising the question of when Betelgeuse will turn into a supernova and what titanic impact it will have on Earth. Let's sort out the star in the magnificent constellation Orion, which shines so brilliantly that even individuals from long ago have seen it. The magnificent star Betelgeuse is situated on the eastern shoulder of the constellation Orion. It is the second largest star in the star grouping, and its name comes from this feature, the monster shoulder. It is potentially one of the most brilliant stars in the night sky. On top of being extremely bright, the star is also an odd shade of red, which, as we will see, suggests trouble. We've had some tremendous experience with Betelgeuse for quite a while. A Greek observer named Tmy also focused on it around that time. The primary thing people perceived about stars was their color, and Tmy said that it was a toadstool-colored orange. In modern times, specialists have been focusing on the star more eagerly, and now they have a brilliant idea of what makes it so curiously bright. One of these qualities is that the star changes brightness a great deal. With a clear magnitude of 0.6, Betelgeuse is a variable star, which means that its brightness changes over time. Recently, specialists have found some new information about the star. In 2019, specialists first saw that Betelgeuse was acting unconventionally. Even though Betelgeuse didn't completely stop shining, it wasn't the same. It had become considerably less bright, shining at a level of 1.6. Specialists quickly began to investigate why they were seeing the 10th most brilliant star behave in this capricious manner. Researchers expected to offer an astounding explanation based on their research, which uncovered unusual signs from the star. According to their discoveries, Betelgeuse could go supernova at any moment. Brian Cox, a famous scientist, shared this surprisingly dangerous explanation. As a distinguished professor of particle physics at the University of Manchester School of Physics and Cosmology, you shouldn't dismiss his point of view as a joke. He also has a science show, writes popular science books, and is the Royal Society Professor for Public Engagement with Science. Brian Cox says that Betelgeuse is by all appearances a ticking delayed bomb because it could go off without warning. To disintegrate what is happening, the James Webb Space Telescope has shown an epic amount of evidence to back up this explanation. But what whimsical signs has Betelgeuse displayed that have caused so much concern in space science? With the new information about Betelgeuse, the star has been named a supernova candidate. Despite the fact that analysts are still unsure when it will explode, the fact that Betelgeuse is twice the mass of the Sun is one explanation for this classification. A star, as it's been said, ought to be several times the mass of the Sun to be known as a supernova. Things get truly interesting, however, because analysts have used different instruments to research Betelgeuse, such as the James Webb Space Telescope and the Laser Interferometer Gravitational Wave Observatory, to see what's happening in space around Betelgeuse. What they found is still a mystery. It was born on August 31st, a long time ago. Around that time, the star Betelgeuse clearly offered odd hints that made its future uncertain. What did they find? Well, they could detect curious light waves coming from the star, which is very curious. However, it wasn't the only thing experts observed from the star. This takes us back to the likelihood that Betelgeuse is a star whose brightness changes now and then. It was said that alarming Betelgeuse darkened down at regular intervals and had dark spots much like our Sun today. However, the circumstances are different. It changes from bright to dim twice as fast as it used to, which is another indicator. It has returned to an amazing sign. Specialists found that the star's dimming cycle had hit a band of quality of 1.61 in February 2021. This was not long after the gigantic darkening event. Review how the star appeared to fade in a bizarre manner in 2019. That's because it's now known as the extraordinary darkening. We could see that the incredible darkening was the start of Betelgeuse's unusual behavior, which made many people worry that Betelgeuse was going to explode. The range of darkening was 1.2 somewhere between 2019 and 2020, and the lowest recorded degree of dimming was in 2019, so specialists were certain that terrible Betelgeuse would go supernova in the next 100,000 years. From this point onward, the passage repeats several concepts and could be condensed for clarity. However, if you'd like me to continue, I can further edit the remainder for readability and punctuation while keeping the information intact. Let me know how you'd like to proceed. In view of the extraordinary darkening, something truly surprising is happening in the universe. Analysts quickly changed their perspectives, however, when they saw what happened next. Betelgeuse got brighter again after the incredible dimming and transformed into something far more striking. Astrophysicist Andrea Dupree at the Harvard-Smithsonian Center for Astrophysics says that the star is now 150% brighter than normal, making it the seventh most brilliant star in the sky. Specialists were panicked when they saw a red glow in the southern part of the sky. Today things are getting even more interesting because this has led to different theories about what caused the incredible darkening. First, it's important to note that not all stars have the red glow of Betelgeuse. The red glow of Betelgeuse means that it's a red supergiant star, which is the last phase of a star's life before death. The red glow, on the other hand, is caused by a surface temperature of around 3,500 Kelvin, which is much cooler than the outer layer of the Sun at 5,500 Kelvin. Since Betelgeuse is cooler than our Sun, it emits less energy per unit of surface area. Nevertheless, it is more massive and will eventually detonate. Now let's look at what the phenomenal darkening meant. Brian Cox asks, does it truly mean that Betelgeuse will go supernova? As a rule, the fact that Betelgeuse is a red supergiant already indicates that it is near the end of its life. A dying star will also frequently weaken over time, which is something specialists understand. However, Betelgeuse's new incredible behavior has made experts focus more intensely. Many telescopes are now observing the extraordinary darkening closely. Still, things get even more interesting because experts don't yet fully understand Betelgeuse. Scientists are now using the most cutting-edge tools to monitor the captivating changes happening with the star. The James Webb Space Telescope has been one of the best instruments analysts have used so far. Since 2021, the telescope has been in space helping analysts gather a wealth of significant data about Betelgeuse. The new photographs of Betelgeuse's amazing darkening taken by this telescope have shown that the event caused an enormous mass ejection. Based on new analysis, we now know that this mass ejection was around 400 times larger than a typical coronal mass ejection. The James Webb Space Telescope can also observe things our eyes can't see, such as light waves and frequencies, giving scientists an even deeper understanding of the star's behavior. Scientists have seen dust clouds forming on the star's surface that appear to resemble leaves floating in space. That might seem strange, but in spite of the fact that Betelgeuse is destined to die, specialists are still paying close attention to it because they don't know exactly when it will go supernova. Scientists believe that Betelgeuse, being far more massive than the Sun, will continue shining for the next 10 years. However, given the many unusual events happening with the star, it's hard to say if this prediction will remain true. After the incredible dimming, specialists no longer expect Betelgeuse to explode imminently. If Betelgeuse does detonate, it will be the first supernova we observe firsthand since Johannes Kepler documented one in 1604. However, experts do not think this will happen soon, as they are still analyzing the star's rare behavior. Nevertheless, Betelgeuse remains an object of great curiosity. If we take an unbiased look at the universe, Betelgeuse stands out as one of the most captivating and surprising stars in our sky. This red beast of a star, if placed where the Sun is, would stretch out to Jupiter's orbit. The universe, however, doesn't work in such direct terms. Unusual cosmic events, such as supernova explosions, have the potential to completely alter our understanding of space. Such an event is likely to occur, but while the possibility of Betelgeuse going supernova looms, researchers are still working to determine the exact timeline of its fate. As analysts continue to gather data from advanced space telescopes such as the James Webb Space Telescope and the Hubble Space Telescope, they remain cautious about predicting an imminent explosion. Despite Betelgeuse's strange behavior, including its mysterious dimming and brightening cycles, there is no certainty about when it will finally reach the end of its life. Some speculate that the explosion could still be thousands of years away, while others believe it might happen much sooner, perhaps within the next few years or even months. The exceptional data collected by these powerful telescopes, combined with Betelgeuse's unpredictable activity, has kept researchers on high alert. They are carefully monitoring every aspect of the star using the most advanced tools available, hoping to detect any subtle changes that might indicate an impending supernova. When Betelgeuse does finally detonate, it will send shock waves through the universe, releasing an immense amount of energy. The explosion will briefly outshine the entire galaxy, appearing as bright as the full moon from Earth. While this event will be a spectacular cosmic display, it will not pose a direct threat to our planet, as Betelgeuse is located more than 600 light-years away. However, the supernova will provide an extraordinary opportunity for researchers to study the final stages of a massive star's life and the cosmic phenomena that accompany such an event. Betelgeuse's impending end is not just a topic of scientific interest, it serves as a reminder of the vastness and complexity of the universe. Stars like Betelgeuse play a crucial role in the cosmic cycle, enriching the universe with elements that contribute to the formation of new stars, planets, and possibly even life itself. The death of a massive star is not truly an end, but rather a transformation, as the heavy elements it releases will eventually seed new stellar systems. In the meantime, scientists continue to observe Betelgeuse, uncovering new mysteries with each discovery. With every revelation, our understanding of the universe expands. Perhaps soon we will witness one of the most extraordinary events in cosmic history: Betelgeuse's transformation from a monstrous red supergiant into a breathtaking supernova. Until then, the night sky remains a canvas of wonder, with Betelgeuse shining brightly, a reminder of the fleeting yet magnificent nature of life in the universe. As space scientists continue their observations, they are particularly focused on the irregular behavior of this dying star. Something is making Betelgeuse behave in an unusually erratic manner, stirring great curiosity among researchers. It's important to note that not all stars end their lives in a supernova. For instance, smaller stars like our Sun will experience a much calmer death, shedding their outer layers and leaving behind a white dwarf. However, Betelgeuse is a massive red supergiant, meaning that when it dies it will go out with a grand explosive finale, very different from the gradual dimming of smaller stars. The sheer size of Betelgeuse makes it an exceptional subject for study. With a radius multiple times larger than the Sun, if it were placed at the center of our solar system, it would extend beyond the orbit of Mars. This gives you an idea of just how enormous it is. The massive size of Betelgeuse means that it has consumed vast amounts of fuel throughout its life. Now, as it nears its end, its core is collapsing under the force of gravity. This collapse is what will eventually trigger its explosive supernova.